Hi everybody, how are you guys doing? It's a beautiful day in Texas. It's cold, but hey, it's January, so it should be cold, right? So I hope you guys are having a wonderful new year. Um, I'm back in the sewing room working on something, and I thought, you know what? I'm just going to show you guys what I'm working on because a few of y'all have asked about my shirts I've been making, and I'm in the process of making another shirt, so I'm going to show you kind of how I do it. And I've done like one, two, three. This will be my fourth one that I've made for myself. So let me just put the camera down. Now, these are some yo-yos I'm working on right now. I'll do a video on how to do those. Those are heart yo-yos. But I'll put those aside. Hold on. We're not going to talk about those today. We're going to talk about my shirts I've been making. Okay, this was the very first shirt I made. It's a sweatshirt. You can buy these at Amazon or Hobby Lobby, Michael's sells them, Walmart. They're just the basic sweatshirt. I've been buying mine from Hobby Lobby or Michael's, and it's this brand. This is the brand that I've been buying right there. So, and this was my very first shirt I made. I love it. It's hexagons. I made it into a Christmas tree. Move some of this stuff out of the way here. And I've already washed it in the washing machine. It washed up really well, had no problem. So this was my first shirt, which I love. I got so many compliments on this shirt every time I wore it in the store. Literally, every time I showed up in the store, someone made a comment about my shirt. So this was my first one. Let me show you the next one. This was the next one I made, which he is adorable. My little gingerbread man. And I actually made several of these and ended up giving these away as Christmas presents. Isn't he cute? And he's already been washed 2 or 3 times in the washing machine. I just turned my shirts inside out and they're holding up very well. Haven't had any problems. And I put them on gentle cycle. I'll wash them on hand. If you have a hand wash cycle, that would be the setting I would put it on. But mine says delicate, and that's what I've been putting it on, delicate cycle in cold water. And I turn them inside out. But isn't he a doll? So cute. So I put some buttons on him, and this is also a button, and I got this at Hobby Lobby. They have a whole section of decorative buttons like this, and it does say hand wash on the buttons, so that's why I definitely put it on delicate wash and turn my shirt inside out. So this was my second one I made, and then I decided I wanted to make one for Valentine's. So see if I can get it over here. Let me move these out of the way. The pile is getting too high. So I just finished making this one, and this one's already been washed also. And I just bought me a red sweatshirt, and I did a applique a heart right here with some crisscross, and just put some yo-yos, and I sewed these on individually all the way around onto the heart. So, and like I said, I've already washed this one and it's turned out just fine. So I'm not having any problem with the fabric shrinking or anything like that, or anything coming undone. So the technique I'm using is working. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to be making a new one. Let me put this one aside. It's going to be a white sweatshirt. And you guys, I love sweatshirts in the wintertime. They just keep me so warm. And I love to wear them with blue jeans or black leggings. So I thought, well, I've got a white one here. What can I do with this white one? So my plan is, I made this Hexi flower, and it's fairly large. Last summer, with my daughter at a retreat, we went to a retreat together. Well, actually, it was a class. It was a one-day class. We went to for English paper piecing, and this was the size of the template they were using for us to do our class with. And I did this Hexi flower while I was there, and I thought I can use this on my shirt, and I thought it would be so pretty. So I think I'm going to put that in the center of my shirt. And just go with it. I think that'll be just so beautiful. So I'm going to show y'all how I do my shirts, okay? So I've already got this pressed. I pressed it really good. Let me get this shirt out of the way here. Okay. So I get my, whatever I'm going to put on the front of my shirt, I get it pressed and ready. Then I use batting. I use this really nice batting. I get this from Hobby Lobby, and I will show you the brand. Let me get in my drawer here. This is the brand I use for my shirts. I'm sure you can use any type of batting, but this seems to be a little bit better quality to me. It's just a thicker batting. So, but this is what I use. And then I use a piece of white fabric. This is an off-white piece of fabric I had, but I put a piece of fabric on the back. So I'm going to have my back, which I always use white or a cream color, okay? And then I have my batting. And then I place whatever I'm going to be putting on my shirt in the center there in front. And what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to pin this down, and then I'm going to go over to the sewing machine, and on this particular pattern, I'm going to be stitching in the lines, stitching the ditch. I'm going to start in the center and go around, and then I'm going to just stitch along here, and then I'm going to stitch along here. So, but I'm going to pin it on here really quick to kind of keep it in place. So it doesn't move around on me. Okay. Now let me see if I can pull my sewing machine over here. I'm moving stuff around. Okay. I'm going to slowly stitch in the ditch. Around the center first. I'm making sure I'm catching everything underneath and it's all smoothed out. Okay, so I've got the center part done. Now I'm going to just do out here, and then I'll work around this way, okay? Oops. Come over here and do this one. And I'm just running it off here because I want to be sewing over this, so there's no reason to backstitch. Plus I want to be doing a zigzag also, which I'll show you in a minute. So let me just get all these Hexi stone on here. Make sure everything's still smooth. Alrighty, so I've sewn inside and then along the sides here. Now I'm going to do the outer edges. So, and I'm just going to go right along the edge here. Make sure everything is still smooth. And I'm going to just continue around till I get them all done. Okay, I've got it sewn all the way around the edges, and I went into the seams. Let's cut off our threads here. And what I want to do next, and I did this on all my other shirts, I put them on with zigzag. So I basically secured whatever design I'm using to the batting. And then now I'm going to do zigzag all the way around each hexagon. So I attached it with just a straight stitch, and now I'm going to zigzag. And I'm just doing that because sometimes the zigzags will come loose, and I just want this to be very secure on the shirt. And I did that with all my other shirts, and they have held up very well. So I know it may be an overkill on it, but that's the way I'm doing it, and I want to use the zigzag stitch also. So I said, why not do it both? That way you know it's going to stay on, and you're not going to have any unraveling and all the other stuff going on. So, all right, so let's do some zigzagging, and I'll be right back. I'm back because you know what? I forgot to tell y'all one more step before I do the zigzagging. You need to cut this out. I got in a hurry, y'all. I got in a hurry. So you need to cut this out as close as you can to the edge before you do zigzagging. So let's get to cutting. Boy, I went to turn off the camera, and I go, wait a minute, Lorraine. You got to tell them to do this first and then go do zigzagging. You're not quite ready to do that step yet. So I'm just cutting along the edge as close as I can without cutting the fabric. Oops. Hit the camera. Sorry about that, you guys. Kind of leaning over the camera stand right here trying to cut this. And sometimes it gets in the way. I'm going to be making some shirts for Easter too. Just out of plain t-shirts. I've already bought me a bright pink one. And I thought, wouldn't a rabbit be so cute on the front of that? Or an egg, or a flower, or... Yes, I'm already talking about springtime and it's only January. Hey, you got to plan ahead. Got to plan ahead. Now see, that's too much spatting right here. I need to trim that up a little bit more. Because your zigzag won't be neat. If it's too much batting there, it'll be clumped up. Okay. Okay, I've got it trimmed all up. I really got ahead of myself, my goodness. And you guys, I don't edit my films, my videos, or anything I do on YouTube. If I mess up, I'll tell you. Just the way it is. I'm real. It's the real deal, y'all. So anyway, so I've got this all trimmed up. And this is how it looks on the back. And the batting's in between. So next step is, before you do the zigzag, I was in a hurry to do the zigzag, but not yet. Get your shirt, and in this case, it's my sweatshirt, and you got to get it centered. And I like to put whatever I'm putting on the front about 4 inches down from the neckline here. So let me get my ruler. Let me see if I can get it out of my drawer. Okay. And I measure around 4 inches down. And this is about the area I'm going to have it, the top, about right there. And that's how I did my other shirts. I went about 4 inches down. The top of my gingerbread man's head was here. The top of the Christmas tree I made was there, and the heart. So, and it worked out really well. So I'm going to put that there, kind of center it. And I'm going to pin this. And this is what I've been doing. I've been actually putting on the shirt just to see how it looks. Because I was going by this tag being in the center, but sometimes this tag is not always in the center of the neck. So I go and put the shirt on, especially if it's my shirt. And I make sure it is centered. So, and that's been working very well. So I'm going to pin this on really good. You can use safety pins too, so you don't get stuck. But I've been doing okay with the straight pins. I haven't had a problem. I'm just real careful when I put it on. Very, very careful. I'm going to put one more on here. It's going to be so pretty. Okay, let me go try this on, make sure I like the way that looks. And I do like the position because this is very, very large. So I want to make sure I got it exactly how I want it. I'll be right back. Okay, I've got it centered. I'm telling you. What a job. I just dropped a pin. Really? Found it. I found it, y'all. I dropped it on the floor. Make sure this is pinned good down. Really good here. All right. What I'm going to do is start with a center, zigzag, then zigzag all the way around these hexes. And it's going to be tricky. I hope you have a machine. Well, it'll really help if you have a sewing machine that's got the little arm. Let me show you what I'm talking about. My machine's not fancy at all. So, but I do have this part that removes right here. So it'll make it easy for me to slide the shirt in there like this. See if I can get my camera so you guys can see what I'm doing here. Slide it in. Underneath there. So I can sew and make sure you don't catch the back. That's really important. So kind of keep your hands underneath here. And if you don't have that removable arm, you can still do it on your sewing machine. You just got to be really, really careful. So let's get to zigzagging and I'll be right back. Okay, everyone, I've got it all sewn on. I think it turned out pretty good. Next time I do something that's got a lot of squares and a lot of turns, I'm going to use this basting spray to baste it onto the shirt or whatever I'm sewing on to keep it in place better. Because I had this move around a little bit on me. Or you can use the interfacing. This got an adhesive on the back. That would probably work better too. So, but there it is. I think it turned out very pretty. Press it down a little bit. It'll be just fine. I hope you have fun making your shirt. These are so much fun to make, and they're one of a kind because you're doing your own design. So you guys have fun. He's still my favorite one. All right, you guys, God bless, and I will see you soon. All right, bye-bye now.